And I'm going to therefore cut to this stage in your life when you are living in the same house. You're writing side by side, I believe, with a room between you full of box files. On the way to that house, though, and those box files, could I just ask, before you fell in love, did you know each other's work? And was that quite an important part of falling in love?
I knew his work, and I tremendous. No, you didn't, because there wasn't any. And I was a huge admirer of his work, and I thought, yes. I remember you saying
I read,
you were really worried
Mary
reading. You were really worried. You told Ed Manson you were really worried when you read it in case you didn't like it.
Well, I read Mary Wollstonecraft before we got together.
That was another question I was going to ask you. Are you anxious when you read? When you first read a new work, is this, as it is in our house, quite an anxious experience because one wants to like it?
Yeah.
So it is. How do you do it? Does one of you go right out of the house, and the other one sits? How do you arrange it?
We don't talk about it. Well, we don't ever show anything till it's finished, as it were.
Yes. So it's you really don't know.
And then we rather studiously go into another room or walk about and go for a walk. Or
we both, I have to say, Claire's my first reader and I'm her first reader, and we do try to be honest but tactful. And we do give each other notes.
Ruthless critic, yes. I don't think anyone's interested in this sort of thing.
It is very helpful if you are a sympathetic reader who is prepared to be frank and say, look, you haven't made this point clear. I don't really understand why he does this or says this. Or really, it does go on a bit on page 478 of the moment.
Too many and thens.
Yeah.
And may I ask, I mean, I agree with you, that if you can't have honesty at home, where can you have it?
Yeah.
But do you always take it well, the advice that you're given at this point?
Well, sometimes you ignore it completely. To take it well.
Some of us ignore it and some of us don't. Some of us are quite heroic about
You can see you're not going to get very straight answers. No, but we do behave quite well, don't we? We do try to be honest.
Yes,
and
because
we do try to accept. And I think it is, as you say, it is a priceless gift to have somebody actually pay attention to what you've written. Somebody who is intelligent and whose opinion you respect. I mean, it's marvellous, the best thing that anyone can give you.
But this goes on, of course, because you really need a good copy editor if you're writing novels, or a good director if you're writing plays. And I've got a wonderful copy editor in New York, who in fact is British, but has lived in New York, worked in New York all her professional life, and is more like an American copy editor than any American copy editor. And she's incredibly rude and brutal about everything I send her. I mean, every third word she objects to. And it drives me absolutely crazy, but she's not always right, but she often is. And in the end, I tend to accept almost everything she says.
Do you see aspects of each other in each other's work? In other words, old, for example, discussions replayed and triumphantly won in the absence of the other disputant, or that,
Well, some of Michael's plays have very, very funny accounts of marital quarrels. And the way the husband says, we're going to discuss this very cooperatively, we're going to come to agree to something together, and they discuss it. And then the husband says, so this is what we're going to do. I often point in life say, do you see, we're going through that scene. I said I don't want to do it, you said you want to do it, we've had our discussion and we're going to do it.
What people often find very difficult to believe about fiction is that writers of fiction sometimes do make things up.
This is a play.
Oh, the play.